I'm Insomniac and welcome to my channel. It's Wednesday the 10th of August and it's just gone 5 PM. I was actually in two minds. I knew I had to do a video. It's Wednesday, it's the day I do them, but I've really struggled to find the energy to actually do it today. Like I said, my energy's just been, I would have thought it would have been improving. It's been 2 weeks since I cut out most of the sugar out of my diet. Obviously it's not good to cut out every single bit, but all I'd have is just a little bit of sugar on my porridge in the morning and no added sugar to anything else, like obviously tea, I don't have sugar in it or sweeteners in it. Trying to think, I haven't had like chocolate cake, nothing like that in 2 weeks at all. I did have, what was it, yesterday I had something sugar based, I can't remember what it was. What was it? Oh, that's it, I had a strawberry milkshake. And I've also cut out snacking, but this morning, sort of 2 in the morning, I was a little bit peckish, and normally the last 2 weeks I've like deliberately, if I feel peckish, I just won't eat, like especially in the middle of the night. I've just been like, nope, I'm not having anything. But we've got some yogurts in because it's really hot, and obviously yogurt is lower fat than ice cream. I mean, I guess I know you can get low fat and low sugar ice cream, but it's not all that nice, and I like to enjoy what I eat. I'm not just going to eat something if it tastes, well, rubbish. So yeah, I had, it was a Mother Corner, a strawberry one. It's like got these little white, I think they're white chocolate little ball bits in it, like in the little corner bit. Or it might be shortbread, or worse, it might be little shortbread bits, circles, dipped in white chocolate. It might actually be that even, I think it could be. But I had 2 of those and I felt like absolute crap after. I felt like absolute crap. I felt it completely wiped me out. Not even 20 minutes later, I just conked out. I was just so exhausted, and then for about 4 hours after that, there's no energy whatsoever at all, none. So yeah, I think sugar plays a little bit of a part. I think when my diet's higher in sugar, I don't function as well. I think it makes me more tired. I think I've said about this before. I don't know if it's classed as the dawn phenomenon if you're not diabetic. It happens to everybody, or if it only affects diabetic people. But the dawn phenomenon that I've read about is where sort of between the hours of 2 AM and 8 AM, the sugar spikes, the blood glucose spikes. And I think that if you're not diabetic, something's meant to happen, and then the insulin happens, which lowers the blood sugar, or I don't know, something like that. But whenever I have taken the blood glucose test, I think I did actually share with you guys a while back at the beginning of me doing these videos, what my sugars were roughly. But yeah, it seems my sugars during the day are absolutely fine. The only one that's always way higher than it should be is that morning one. So sort of like before you eat, before you drink, so you've had, I don't know, 8 to 11 hours of no food, no drink, no nothing. And then my sugar's normally between 6.5 and 7.2, like at that time, sort of like between 5 and 7 in the morning. Sometimes I might test it at 4 if I'm staying awake from 4. But between 4 and 7 in the morning is when I do the test. And yeah, it's those figures. So, and I think it should be under, I'm not entirely sure, I'll quickly find out. think it should be under 5 or 5 point something. Let me see. Quickly, I'll just check. Well, obviously it'd be different in different countries, but in the UK, let's see. Fasting, morning, blood glucose level. Alright, under. Let's see what we have. Oh, and UK. Jesus, so much stuff to write. That's just nuts. Okay, so, but is that fasting for the actual blood test or the glucose meter? Because that's completely different. Okay, so normal and diabetic blood sugar ranges between 4.0 to 5.4. Seems like it should be between those. That says even with diabetes it should be that low. It's not good. Okay, so where's the chart? That's something else. Yeah, this is to do with the test strips. So that's what I'm after. Because the HbA1c, that's completely different because that covers 3 months. So just going through it just to make sure I've got it right. So, oh my gosh, it's just okay. So target levels by type, non-diabetic. Upon, oh, it doesn't say what it should be upon waking, I guess because you don't test it when you wake up. But if you were type 1 diabetic, oh god, if you had type 1, it should be between 5 and 7. No, there was something I read and it said, it says about fasting or something. Oh, wait. Ah, okay. Normal and diabetic blood sugar ranges. For the majority of healthy individuals, normal blood sugar levels are as follows. So I'd guess that means without diabetes, because it says majority of healthy individuals. So between 4.0 and 5.4 mmol/L or 72 to 99 mg/dL when fasting. So they class fasting as 8 or more hours without anything to eat or drink. And then it says up to 7.8, 2 hours after eating. For people with diabetes, blood sugar level targets are as follows. It says before meals 4 to 7, after meals under 9. But it doesn't say. If you do a random one, it should be below 11.1. Well, mine's always below that. It's never ever, I don't think, ever been that high. Not even after having a hot chocolate. This was years ago. A hot chocolate from a coffee shop chain with marshmallows and cream. Even like 20 minutes, half hour after that, my blood sugar was not that high. So, that says blood sugar levels in diagnosing diabetes. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. So randomly, it should be below 11.1. So I guess if it's above that, that raises a red flag. If you are diabetic, it should be 11. Oh, if you are diabetic, it would be 11.1 or more. Okay. Well, I'm glad I don't. That's great. Mine's never nearly that high. Fasting, normal range. Non-diabetics, below 5.5. Pre-diabetes is between 5.5 and 6.9. And diabetes 7.0 or more than 126 mg/dL or more. And then 2 hours after a meal. For a normal person, it should be below 7.8. pre-diabetes 7.8 to 11, diabetes 11.1 or more. Yeah, well, after having food, yeah, I've never got anywhere near that high, so that's good. After food, sorry, that's my alarm. Turn that off. Dismiss. So actually, I'm gonna have a quick look at my I used a little app called My Sugar. It's got this little green. Is there anything? Yeah, it's got this little green thing on it. Where is it? I'm trying to see it on there. I can't tell what the colours are. See, it says My Sugar. Well, it's all upside down, but it's that middle one there. It's like a yellowy greeny colour. But yeah, I used that. Just a couple of times I've done it. Like, I've done the odd one in the morning, like to see what my blood sugar is. And then I did for about 2 weeks. I actually did, I forget what they call it, a curve? A curve? I think you're meant to do that if you've got really type 1 diabetes, to see how it is throughout the day and over a period of time, to get some kind of indication of what, well, how it is day to day, maybe over a 2-week period. It's more, I think, accurate than the HbA1c because it's showing day to day and each like after meals, before meals, when you wake up. And I was also, if I woke up in the middle of the night, I was checking then as well. But so let's see. So the last time I did my morning glucose, it was 6.8. Should be below 5.4. So 6.8. That was fasting. A couple of mornings before that, it was 6.4. By morning, I mean fasting, like first thing, before even water. What's this? Before bed, one time it was 5.2. It's got a funny face, so maybe I didn't feel right, because there's this bit where if you feel like you're having a hyper or hypo, not that I'd know, but I just didn't feel right and felt lethargic and sorry. I didn't feel good, so I thought, well, I'll just check it, see if it's high, too high or low, see if that's what it is. That was 5.2. Another time, just random, didn't feel good, 6.1. So it's definitely not low blood sugar when I'm feeling like that. It's not blood sugar, whatever it is. 2 hours after a meal ordinarily is really around the 6.4 mark, 6.2 to 6.4. So still well within range. In the middle of the night, it's called an overnight glucose, which I think you've got to take before 4 a.m. That's 5.6. That's still a bit higher than it should be. But so this is just one of the days. I'm only going to go through one day because it'll take too long otherwise. Actually, I'll go through 2 days to compare at one point when it used to be low and now. So on Wednesday the 13th of April, if I go through, this is how many times I took when I was doing the curve, how many times a day I was doing it, like to get an accurate picture. So the first one was the overnight glucose, that was 6.2. The overnight fast, 5.1, so that's good, that's within range, that one. An hour after a meal, 7.3. 2 hours after a meal, 6.6. That was after breakfast. Then after lunch, 1 hour after, it's 6.0. 2 hours after lunch, 6.8. Dinner, 1 hour after dinner, 7.1. 2 hours after dinner, 7.5. And then obviously the following morning in the middle of the night at 20 past 12 at night is 5.6. And then early morning, 6.4. So that's how it's been, sort of those levels. Oh my gosh. The day before that, there's a couple of sort of like in the red and the yellow. I don't know if you can see that. But so from then, overnight glucose 6.1, that's too high, but it's not done that as red. This next one they have, overnight fast 8.9. Yeah, it's very high. An hour after a meal 9.1, but actually, did it say what I had? No, that I should have actually wrote what I had, because If I would have had like a sugary breakfast, and obviously it's going to measure higher, but I'm guessing it would have been porridge or toast, possibly. 2 hours after that meal, 8, and then it calms down. It's like all in the 6s. It's at 1.7 for the rest of the day. So, and then when I first started doing this, I'm going to show you real quick. When I first started doing this back in 2021 in June, I've got any left. Too cold. I did actually feel as though it was possibly blood sugar back then, which is why I'd got the machine in the first place. And if you can see, I'll try and let's make sure. Yeah, let's try. So these are the values. I don't know if you guys can read that. So obviously it's back to front. I'm trying to see what I'm doing here. Does it go that way? No, it goes the other way. So I'm going to go slowly. This was just over a few days of me measuring. See that it used to be really, really low, which is when I first started doing it. And then where it's there, I think that's like 6 months later. Like the reds were all in June, and then the greens are in January 2022 when I started doing it again. But I mean, if you weren't able to read those, it would dip as low as 2.2, which I think is actually dangerous. And then what I did was then half an hour after, so I think I remember this, I actually remember this day, or these few days when it was like this. I had a half glass of Coca-Cola, full sugar Coca-Cola. So if my blood sugar's that low, that's quite dangerous. And then half an hour later, I checked my blood sugar again, see if it had come up. And it had gone from 2.2 to 3.9, which is basically on the low end of acceptable. And then another time, obviously I must have felt it was a little bit low. It was 3.8. I don't think I did anything about that. No, I didn't. And then later in the day, after like around lunchtime, 3.3. 8 o'clock that night, 2.8. There's a picture of dinner there. I don't know. I didn't know what all those symbols meant, so it's probably before a meal, I'm guessing. That would be after. That was 2.8, and then I did half an hour after that. I took it again after having Coca-Cola again, and it went up to 3.4. And then I had more Coca-Cola, I'm guessing, because half an hour after that I've tested again, and it went back in the green range at 5.7. But that was going on for 3 days? Yeah, over 4 days. That was what I recorded, and then I stopped recording because after that, after those 4 days, I did the 5th day, and that was just completely normal range. Oh god! And then there's just a couple that I've just done randomly. 3.7, 6.3. But you see, there used to be a lot of red lows back then, and now they're kind of in the high range. Not high, but there's no lows. So yeah, I talked about that a bit longer than I was supposed to. I did the carpal tunnel syndrome nerve conduction test study thing on Monday. Yeah, so it's good. They said I don't have carpal tunnel syndrome. What is it? It's nerve pain, but there's no nerve damage. So that's good that there's no actual nerve damage that she was able to test for. So she tested 2 nerves. I'm not sure what they're called, but one nerve I think she said was sort of like here, and then I think she said the other one was there. I was like, that's strange, because those are the 2 places that I tend to get the pain. And also when I get the prickles, like the really bad prickling, it's usually sort of these 2 fingers and this thumb, but on both sides. It's never the last 2. So yeah, so they've referred me back to my GP. They've probably done that through snail mail because I've not seen anything appear on the app for the medical stuff that I'm able to see. It's not there yet, so I think they're, or it might just take them a few days to write up, maybe. I'm not sure. So I did that. Got a blood test coming up next week, 17th of August. I think it's next week? Yeah, it's next week. I've got cardiology appointment, I can't remember the date offhand, somewhere between the 9th of September and the 19th. Somewhere between there. Had my injection yesterday. I did mention to her, it's not as bad today, that's why I didn't mention it already, but for the last 3-4 days, the numbness has actually been worse. As in that before, I'd get periods of numbness in my hands and that, or a little bit in my arms or legs. That's why I thought, before they even said about carpal tunnel, I thought that paresthesia or whatever you know, P and then neuropathy. Funnily enough, at the thing on Monday, the carpal tunnel thing, first thing she asked when she was asking me to describe what was happening, why I've referred carpal tunnel, and I told her, I had actually told the GP the day she referred me to carpal tunnel, the GP had, that I had actually said, you know, can you get carpal tunnel in your feet and your legs, because I'm getting tingling up to here, and I pointed sort of between my ankle and halfway up my shin, and the doctor just said no. And I was it, she said no, like so she never was like, oh, what, are you experiencing that? Yeah, well then it could possibly be this. No, nothing like that. I have read though, it did say they do say that folate deficiency can cause all this tingling and stuff, and this numbness and shooting and all of that. So that's I'm hoping it is, but it's been more than 2 months of taking the folate tablets, the folic acid at the high dose, so I don't understand why it's not improving. Like, 2 months I would have thought I'd felt some improvement with the numbness and the tingling and the prickling and the shooting and the burning, but I'm not. In fact, the numbness is actually worse. That's what I was going to say. Like, the numbness, I've had this for about 4 days now. I'm like, the numbness in my hand kind of comes and goes. It feels a bit like a dead hand a little bit, and I'll tell you what, it feels really dead a lot. It's from here right the way through to a little bit past my elbow. All that is reduced sensation, like, and it's not going away, it's not coming and going, it's all the time. Last 4 days it's been like that all the time. I don't know what's causing that. And then obviously I still get the numbness, the other pains throughout my other hand and arm, and also my legs as well, my feet. But it's this one arm, my left side, that is doing that. Kind of freaking me out a little bit, because it's not subsiding. I was going to contact my GP today, but because like, I haven't been regular, for want of a better word, I took something, so I wasn't able to go out. I couldn't, well, I would have been able to, but probably later in the afternoon. But the thing is, with my GP, they call you in the morning sometimes, and then they say, oh, can you get here in half an hour? Well, if I'd taken that tablet, well then no, I wouldn't be able to risk leaving the house probably until 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. like, and there's no way the GP would be like, well, why did you call if you can't get down here for hours and hours? Like, it's because you don't let me make an appointment anymore. Like, that's why I preferred appointments, because you'd call sort of 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they'd say, you know, oh, would you want a morning or an afternoon slot, and you do whatever suits you. So had I have taken those tablets and they were still operating the same way, I could think, right, well, yeah, the morning's a bit sort of iffy, I'll book for 2-3 p.m. and I'll be right as rain by then. So that's what I would normally do. Or I just wouldn't take anything, have the appointment, and then take something that evening instead. But yeah, I had no choice. I had to take something last night because I've got, Tuesday I had my injection, which was sort of like 1 p.m. So wouldn't have been able to take anything the night before that. And the day before that was carpal tunnel. So obviously I can't take anything the night before that because of that morning appointment. And then something happened on Sunday, I can't remember what, so I wasn't able to take anything Saturday. So like I'd needed to take something since sort of like Friday, Saturday time, but just because of appointments and things like that, I wasn't able to take anything until like sort of Tuesday evening. So but that's the thing, like you have to plan these things, which is ridiculous. Like, but it's because I know I've not been caught short, and I don't want to be. So it's just best to play safe, really. I'd rather do that. If that means staying in all day, and I needn't have stayed in all day, I'd sooner do that than be in a blind panic and struggle to find a toilet somewhere. Like, so yeah, I'd rather do that. Gosh, I'm so exhausted. I've still got to go. Sorry. My youngest, she's got this thing tonight. Tonight. Judo thing. So I take her to do that. Obviously, we take her to that, and it doesn't finish till late. So, well, say late. It doesn't finish till 8:30, but then it's getting back and everything as well, isn't it? So we don't get into bed until gone 10. So by then, I'm like basically like struggling to keep my eyes open. I did actually try to go for a nap this afternoon. I wasn't able to, so I thought about 2 o'clock. I thought, I know, I'll try and catch a 1 or 2 hour nap if I can, because then that gives me a little bit more energy, because there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to stay awake for the next 7 hours. Like, I'm not going to be able to. So I managed to rest my eyes for an hour, and I mean rest my eyes as in literally that, like close my eyes and just literally rest them, but not fall asleep, just relax, lie there relaxing with the covers over my head, eyes closed, and just letting my body relax so it can gain a little bit more energy. Sometimes that can actually help. That's all you need, like just to lie down and just not do anything, and just like allow your body to heal and relax for, I don't know, half hour or so, and then it can give you a little bit of a boost. Yeah, it kind of didn't work that way. I mean it must have a little bit, because I don't feel as tired as I did prior to trying to nap, but I'm gonna struggle. I'm honestly gonna struggle staying awake. Got no choice though. Oh, what's the time? Okay, because I have to go at 6:15 or so. So I might actually have to go now, as in like finish the video, because I want to have like a drink or two beforehand, like a cup of tea, to get a little bit of caffeine going, see if that helps a little bit. I know it doesn't, but psychologically it might help more than physically. So yeah. Well, trying to probably hopefully contact the GP tomorrow, or should I? Yeah, tomorrow I'll give them a call. See what they say about the numbness in this one arm. Like, I mean, like it comes and goes everywhere else, the other limbs and that, but like I said, it's just stayed there 4 days solid, not moving at all. Like not what's the word? I can't think of the word. Not not disappearing. What is that word I'm looking for? Well, basically not going a little bit and then coming back. Like, it's not... Sorry, it won't do it. I can't think of the word. It won't go even for little bits. So, yeah. I'll try and get that sorted. I'll call the doctor tomorrow. And see if they'll see me. I mean, like I said, I'm hoping it's the folate deficiency and nothing else, because there's a few things it could be, and some of them aren't very nice. So obviously nothing's nice, but some of them are things I really would not do well to hear if it were. So yeah, like yeah. So I'm gonna go for now. Needed a drink in me, tea, not alcohol. And if you want to see more videos, if you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I must apologise, that's one thing I was meant to say at the beginning of the video, and it just like completely went. I'm sorry for the messages, comments that I haven't yet replied to. To be completely honest, I haven't been answering emails. I've barely been answering any phone calls. I've just basically, unless it's absolutely 100%, like, I just haven't got the energy to have a conversation with people or anything. Like my brother, I was meant to call him back. I did call him, I think it was not weekend just gone, the weekend before. So I made a point, because I hadn't spoken to him for 8 weeks. And I'd normally call him every week, or at worst, every other week, at my worst. But I went 8 weeks without talking to him. I just couldn't cope with the having to be leading a conversation, and making all of the things about, like leading a conversation, and like, so I just couldn't do it. So I just, I didn't call anybody. I mean, ordinarily I'd call my dad, I'd call my dad a couple of times a day. And even now, it's actually been my dad calling me. And I'm not calling more than twice a week, right? And like my mother-in-law, I normally used to check on her sort of like every day or every other day, because she doesn't have people going in to see her like every single day or even every single week. So, and sometimes it can be 5 to 7 days before we speak as well, because the thought of having to have a conversation and knowing it's going to take at least 20 minutes, I just don't have the energy in me to be able to keep the concentration for that long and the conversation going that long. Like, everything at the moment just seems like such an effort. Anything other than actually basic functions is an effort. As I said, I honestly was contemplating not doing videos today. I really was. And it was like, look, I've been here before where I haven't done it for weeks. I know I'm going to fall back into that trap again if I don't do it today. I know I will, because I haven't the energy. But no, I pushed through and was like, no, I'm gonna do the video. Probably only be 5 or 10 minutes long, but it's better that than nothing. And actually, I'm surprised I've managed to do a full length video. But yeah, so comment wise, I will get back to everybody. Probably, I'm hoping by the weekend at least. Let's just say that, at least before the next video, I'm gonna get on top of things again. I'll try my best to, because that's another thing I haven't even done. You know, before, with the what's it called, subtitles, I'd subtitled my videos, and then like I'd go through them a day later, because sometimes it would take hours and hours and hours for it to not just upload, but get to the point where you can actually alter what it says in the subtitles. So I said, if there was like, say I say insomniac, it changes it to something else completely. And I used to correct that, and then obviously some medications and stuff, I'd change that to the right spelling. Do you know, I don't even think I've done that for a month, maybe longer, maybe even 2 months. It's just so much. Like, everything just seems like it's a huge, huge effort. And every little thing is exhausting. Like I said, even still the stairs, like walking up the stairs, it feels like, you know, where if you're like me, you're unfit, you know, you're not used to exercising a heck of a lot, and then you think, you know what, I'm gonna get fit, and you do flipping 50 sit-ups for a week, and going up and down the stairs 10 minutes at a time, running maybe, every day for a week as well. And then all of that combined, and maybe an exercise video, a half-hour exercise video 2 times a day for a week, and you've gone from couch potato to that. And then, you know, everything is just hurting. Everything is heavy, tender. Yeah, everything just feels like a dead weight, like you're dragging yourself. That's the only way I can describe how my limbs feel. It feels like dragging and completely overworked. Just tiredness, and that it causes muscle weakness, I guess, to some degree, because you just feel like you've done a maximum workout for a whole week and your body's struggling. That's what it feels like. But I'm feeling like that day to day without doing any of the exercise. In fact, basically only getting up to eat, drink, use the bathroom, not even pottering about in the garden or standing out in the sun for 10 minutes. Like, literally doing the bare minimum possible, and everything hurts and you're exhausted. It feels like a full-on body flu is what it feels like. And it's felt like it for months, and it's just not getting better. It's not improving at all. So that's why I did think fibromyalgia at one point, you know. Well, that was one of my earlier thoughts, because it's like time's ticking. We'll get into this in the next video, but a lot of the symptoms, well, I mean, technically the symptoms I have fit so many diagnoses. It's impossible, like, without blood tests, to pinpoint anything. But fibromyalgia, if everything comes back clear, and I've seen all the types of specialists, and everybody's saying clear, it's, you feel like whacking your head against a brick wall over and over again, just because, although it sounds horrible, you want blood work or something to be wrong, so they can say, take this, take it for a month, you'll start to improve. Your quality of life will improve. It's just this one tablet solves it. That's what I want. But the more tests I'm having, the more specialists I'm seeing, the more I'm realising that's probably not going to happen. So it's disheartening. It is disheartening. Yeah, because nobody wants to spend their life in their 30s, you know, and the whole of my 30s I've been like this, part of my 20s as well, but I mean, it's been at its worst throughout the whole of my 30s. Then the whole rest of my life, it's been at its worst. And it's just like your life's just passing you by. You're just in a pit of pain, tiredness, well, exhaustion, actually, just lack of motivation, lack of drive, lack of flipping anything. Everything's just so tiring. And it's not a way to spend your life, you know, at all. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be for absolutely anybody, but especially at my age, like, you expect to suffer sort of like body aches and pains and stuff like that. When I was younger, I thought, oh yeah, that probably happens like over 60 or something, you know. But no, it's actually a damn sight earlier. It really is. It's been happening since my 20s. So yeah, maybe I just got a little bad luck. I don't know. Messed up on the health. I didn't win the health jackpot with the straws. So yeah, I think I drew the short straw there. Well, next time we will talk about maybe a little bit. If I've got my 23andMe results back, I can talk about health things on there. I got my ancestry back, but that was only like ancestors and stuff, like family tree stuff and a few traits. So nothing kind of medical about it. I'm gonna go because I said this 10 minutes ago. So, oh sorry, that was me just bang, bang, bang on the desk, little computer on wheels, shopping, little on wheel desk, yes, that you can like use over a chair or whatever. So yeah. I'm going to go for now. Like I said, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you'd like to comment, please do. As soon as I can, I will get to them. And hope you all take care and have a lovely rest of the week and weekend. Enjoy the sunshine or weather wherever you are. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye.